Well, good afternoon, everybody. G Bear, homesteading the desert. Yeah, we're in the garden house right now. I'm going to show you my carrots. I don't know if you can see them through this wire, but I can't get it out of there because it's buried in the dirt. But got a lot of carrots coming up there. They're all about 2.5 inches tall. My sunions, look at that. Got flowers popping out on the top. I'll be getting some seeds out of there pretty soon, and be picking some onions pretty soon. Down in here, the beans and cilantro. The cilantro's coming up. Looks like I got 4 of the cilantro coming up, but I don't see the beans yet. I did say I was going to start those inside, but I haven't had time, and it's getting so hot now, the beans are going to need to be shaded anyway, so I'm going to have to wait until I get the top on here so I can put a 50% shade cloth on. Tomatoes. They're doing pretty good. I got a little bit of dried leaf on there because of the excessive heat, but there's also some flowers and buds on here. And they're kind of small to be going to flower already, but hey, I'll take it. My peppers, they're doing well. They're looking pretty healthy. They should be coming up out of that top pretty soon. I might pull these covers for a while, because these buckets are really heavy. There's a lot of water in them. I didn't drill drain holes in the bottom, so they're holding a lot of water in the bottom, but the roots haven't gotten down to the water yet. So I have to open the covers to water the top of the soil to keep the top moist around the base of these plants. But the corn's looking okay coming up, and the pepper over here. And I moved my cloud potatoes in here, and I took the cover off the top of the cage, and look at them, they're sprouted right up through the top here. They're really loving it in there. So I'll let those go a little while longer and wait for some flowers to pop out, and then when the greens start to wilt down, it'll be time to harvest potatoes, and I'm hoping I'm going to have a full bucket full down in there. All right, also brought 3 water barrels down over here. It's out of the container. Yesterday I didn't shoot any videos because the wind was blowing all day, and it was 30 miles an hour, and it just constant gusting. It was just terrible. I couldn't get anything done. I went to Home Depot, bought a bunch of stuff, but I couldn't even unload it from the van because the wind was blowing the doors and slamming them into me every time I'd get my arms full. So let's move on over here. I did run errands this morning because it was still windy this morning, but I got back about noontime, had lunch, and then I came out and started working. And what did I get done? Well, I stitched the seams of the wire all the way around, high seam and low seam. They've all been stitched. I added the top wire on, and I added a center support all the way down the center. I added bolts on my door to keep it locked here. We'll step inside, and you can see the overhead here with the 2x4s, and this area is going to be my opening up hatch, and it's going to be very simple. I'm going to do a 2x3 frame, wire it, and then put a 1x on top of it so it drops in to place in there. And then I'll just do a couple of twist locks on the bottom here to lock it down so that it can't be pulled up. I'll probably do 2 on each side because it is kind of long. It's about 4 feet opening here and 3 feet wide, so it gives me plenty of room to get up there. You can see I have 1 door open and 1 door closed. I wanted to show you how that worked. And then down here, you see my door is open. Well, I put a magnet from a hard drive, computer hard drive there, and I've got a metal plate on here, and the metal plate locks right in there solid so the wind can't blow the door shut. All right, when I do close it up, let me move around the other side of the ramp here. When I do close it up, I've got a cane bolt in here now, and I can slide the cane bolt in. I might not be able to do this with there we go. Now it hits that metal plate, and then I tapered that metal plate so that when I press in on here, it locks that door really tight. So once I get that all the way over, and this will wear in after a while, Once I get it all the way over like that, I drop it down, and there's this metal plate here, so it can't be slid open. So if something does get in here and get up to the top, they can pick at this thing all day long. They're not going to get that door open unless I get in here and pull this thing open. Now I may modify that down the line and put a cam lever outside here attached to this so I can do everything from outside. But then again, I don't mind coming in making sure the chickens are okay. All right, my white pipe, I'm going to get into that work tomorrow because I got to get the roof on. I've got to get the auto feeder in. The auto feeder is going to be right in this area. Then I've got to get the auto waterer in. And I'm going to have 2 auto waterers. One is going to be underneath down there on the outside, on the shady side of the run and underneath the cabin. And the other one is going to come in underneath the cabin and come up through the floor, and right around this corner here, there'll be 2 or 3 little feeder cups with a little nipple on it, so they can fill it up with water and drink out of that. And down there will just be hanging nipples. It'll be up a little bit higher, so they peck at it, and the water drips down the little rod, and they drink off of that. And then I'll probably put a hanging feeder out here in the middle for an outdoor daytime feeder, so they can always have food. And they'll have food inside with some little trays at nighttime if they get hungry. And then outside here, they'll have the hanging pot down here. Now down the line, once they get used to the area and get used to me, they'll be out here free ranging and having a good old time eating bugs and ants and you name it. So that's it. That's closed up and locked. Now let me show you the locks I put on the egg catches here, or the egg bins. I use window sash locks. So we can turn that down, turn this one up, and then this opens up and down so I can get into the eggs. Pretty cool. All right. And when I lock those in like that, it gives me a good lock. I'm going to put a little metal drip on here also, so that water that in the rainy season comes down, it runs out, not into the egg area. I put the same thing on the back of the clean out area. I got 2 sash locks. And then on this side, I've got 2 more sash locks. So I can open this one too. Just pop that down, pop that one down, and I got it open. And there's my fittings to make my auto feeder and some of the other stuff I have laying around. But real easy to get in, real easy to lock back up again. All right. Moving on up the ways. I'm walking as fast as I can. I'm comfortable now. I just took a nice shower, and I checked the bathtub, and the water temp in the bathtub is about 90 degrees. So I don't know if I'm going to sit in that or not tonight, but who knows? All right. I guess a little breeze blew my door shut. Okay, what you're seeing in here is I've been working at the workbench here. And these are the feeder cup, or the water cups I was telling you about, that will be on the inside of the cage. There'll be 2 of these inside. Now on the outside, this pipe here will have water running into it, and this is the nipples. This hangs like this, just above the chicken's head reach. And they come over and they peck on the little nipple right there, and water drips out. So it's an auto stop. It shuts off water. It doesn't waste water. And then on this end, I have a clean out plug. So if I have to flush this thing for any reason, I can unscrew this. Now, none of this is glued yet because I've got to cut it all to size. And I'm going to be building a pedestal tomorrow and get the 20-gallon barrel up into place, and then I'll pipe off of it. Now, for the other one, this setup right here, it's coming out of the barrel. I'm going to have a garden hose, and the garden hose will screw right into this adapter right there. Now, the 1-inch line will connect to that big 1-inch line and run underneath the cabin. And this one will be running up higher. I'm a little bit too close to do this with one hand, but this will be running up higher and just right underneath the floor of the, I would say the north side nesting boxes. And then it'll come up through the floor and have these little cups. Now, the cups don't have to be higher than the chicken's head. They can be down a little bit lower because they peck at the little yellow valve right there, and it fills the cup with water, and they can drink out of that. So they'll have water inside and outside running off the same 20-gallon barrel. And that's always a good thing. Of course, in the hot summer, I'll probably also going to be putting out a bucket out there with some water in it. So if they want to walk into that and cool off or whatever, they can do whatever they want out there. And they'll most likely just take the shade and the breezes. But wanted to show you I got that part done. And tomorrow I've got my 4-inch cutoff grinder here, because I cut that cane bolt and made that cane bolt for the chicken door. And tomorrow I'll be in here, and I'm going to be plugging in my electric bandsaw, and I'll cut all of the corner pieces for the 2 back corners over the clapboards, protect those corners. I'll get that roofed tomorrow if the weather is like it is today, because it's just a gentle breeze out here. It's about 4 miles per hour, and just a nice gentle breeze coming out of the northeast. And it's not enough to turn the wind turbine, but that wind turbine was spinning all last night. I mean, I woke up about 5 a.m. and I looked at the wind, and it was still about 21 miles per hour outside. So that thing was cranking electricity all night long. I got up to full batteries. That's a good thing, because the refrigerator doesn't shut off at night. It runs all the time now. And that's nice, as I keep my food nice and cool. Well, that's about it. Indoors in a few minutes here, because I have a nice bone-in ribeye that I got down at the Silver Lakes Market today. And it was a manager special, $7. And it's about a 1.1 pound steak. But that's okay if I don't eat it all. I can always munch on the little pieces tomorrow, or I can shave it and make a sandwich tomorrow. I have to get into baking some bread here pretty soon. But don't want to use the oven inside when it's as hot as it is right now. I'm going to take you up here onto the porch so you can see that real quick before I cut this off. And here we are. It's a little past 7. Well, it's actually 7:30 right now. This says 7:38. It's 85.6 degrees out here on the porch in the shade, and low humidity. Low humidity means it's too low to register. So I like that. That's really nice. That's it, everybody. G Bear signing off from another episode of Homesteading the Desert.